Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Porterhouse Skyrim Mod Reviews. I'm your host, Porterhouse, and that's no bull. Hey there folks, Porterhouse here, and today I have a quick double punch of Skyrim-y goodness for you all in this episode. Now, both of these are character mods that I am sure you are going to enjoy. So first up, we have Subtle HDT by JonyRocket. Now, as many of you know, I like my ladies to bounce. The problem is that sometimes they bounce a little too much. I was about to embark on editing my HDT XML files to reduce the bounciness of my ladies to something a bit more believable. Well, this is something I had done a long time ago with the aid of a talented mod maker. Unfortunately, I lost those files when I changed from my old computer to my new one. Now, I didn't want to bother that modder again, and frankly, I was a little embarrassed anyway to ask him, and so I decided to muddle through on my own when this gem popped up on the Nexus. JonyRocket had basically the same issue that I had back in the day and went out and made his own HDT modifications to correct the issue. Then on top of that, he was nice enough to share his creation with us. His settings for time factor, which is the bounce speed of the parts, and dampening were even better than what I had created back in the day for myself. I downloaded this right away and tried it out and was very pleased with the results. The bounciness and dampening, now, and I keep saying dampening, and what that is that's the time it takes for the bounces to stop. And as I was saying, the bounciness and the dampening on this mod are perfect. Now, I'm going to do a little side-by-side comparison using Kira because she has all of the assets to properly demonstrate this mod. So here we have on the left, we have the regular default HDT settings, and on the right, we have JonyRocket's. As you can see, the mod author's settings are much more believable and more natural. Now, if this wasn't enough, he also provided us with a version that is even less bouncy than the original version. And as it turned out, I like those even more and have now made that my default HDT XML settings. Finally, before we move on, I wanted to show you this clip of character Kira walking with the follower mod version to demonstrate the difference in the bounce. Now, the regular HDT settings are actually baked into the .nif file for follower Kira's armor, which is not changed by JonyRocket's mod, so you can really see the difference in this clip. For science reasons, I took off both their armors, and the bounce speed, the amount of bouncing, and the dampening was the same for both. Now, I can't show you that because YouTube would flip the hell out. Now, anyway, I really like what JonyRocket did here, and if you're looking for a more realistic bounce for your characters, then this is the mod for you. Next up, we have Bijin skin UNP and CBBE by RxKX22. Now, if you've heard that name before, that's because that is the same excellent modsmith that brought us a number of excellent NPC mods that change the appearance of marriable characters, female followers, and various NPCs in the game. And as a matter of fact, it is a staple in my mod load and will continue to be forever. The mod author has also made a number of excellent follower mods that you all should check out. Now, moving on, I said in one of my essential mods videos that mature skin has always been my go-to skin texture for my game, and that is true, but there was always a nagging issue, which we will get to in a moment, that it often sent me howling down the path to replace it. Now, the closest so far has been Leyenda skin or Demoniac, but unfortunately neither of those meshed well with my EMBs. Either the specular maps looked splotchy or the normal maps looked way too smooth. Well, all this changed when RxKX22 came out with Bijin skin. This wonderful skin texture mod solved an issue I was having with certain parts of my lady's anatomy, caused either by the normal maps or the diffuse textures. At the same time, the specular, glow, and other texture maps all looked pretty dang close to mature skin. And the most important thing was that it looks good with my EMB, which is a personally tweaked version of Somber Dreams. The level of detail that I look for is there and spot on, making this the ideal skin texture mod for me. Now, as with any skin texture, it will affect the way your overlays look on your character. Now, I use a makeup mod and a freckle mod, and in this case, it made my lady's makeup textures look a little dark, so I had to open up race menu and lighten them up just a tad, but only a little bit. And it was actually very little work to do. And the freckle mods, which is Freckle Mania 2 by Tetrodoxin, who is a really nice guy, by the way, I didn't have to change anything. The skin texture mod really makes those freckles pop. Now, I tested the skin with Sunlight, Torchlight, Firelight, and Mage Light, and all of them reacted well with the Bijin skin. So in the end, I made this my new go-to skin texture mod. Well, that's it for the overview of the mods. Now, normally I would have a fighting clips montage, but since neither of these mods had anything to do with armor or weapons, we're going to move straight on to my final thoughts. Now, JonyRocket performed a yeoman service for me, creating a more realistic HDT XML setting, making my ladies look more natural when they move about by reducing the amount of bounce and increasing the dampening effect of that bounce. This mod was the perfect solution to an issue I was having, and if you use a CBBE HDT body, then I suggest you download this file and try it out. RXKX22's creation, Bijin Skin, was the solution to another issue I was having. The mod author's skin texture is absolutely perfect for me, making my characters look fantastic. Now, that being said, skin textures are often a largely personal preference, and there are a lot of factors that will affect how it looks in your game. This includes EMBs, any lighting mods that you have installed, and even things like your video card and your drivers can affect that. Now, for me, it was the perfect choice, and I encourage all of you to try it out and see how it works for you. Well, that's it for the review. I recommend trying out both of these mods, and if you like them as much as I do, be sure to endorse them and maybe vote up your favorite for File of the Month. I hope you found this video both useful and enjoyable. If so, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. You can also drop me a comment. The comments, I always try to answer every comment I get, so feel free. And once again, I'm your host, Porterhouse, and I will see you all at the next review.